Welcome to the START Projects Workshop, Systems of Support for Student Success, Intervention and Referral Services, New Jersey Tiered System of Supports. I am Stefanie Babits, the Director of START Engaging Parents of Students with Disabilities Project at SPAN Parent Advocacy Network. I'll be joined by my colleague, Beth Cosentino, Project Coordinator. The START Engaging Parents of Students with Disabilities project is a collaboration between the New Jersey Department of Education, Office of Special Education, and SPAN Parent Advocacy Network. SPAN's projects and programs for parents of children from birth to age 26 and for women of childbearing age extend to over 40 national, regional, and local programs funded by government agencies, foundations, and fee-for-service contracts. These programs cover education, health and mental health, human services, child care, and child welfare. Our mission is to empower and support families and inform and involve professionals interested in the healthy development and education of children and youth. Our foremost commitment is to children and families with the greatest need. Our motto is empowered parents, engaged, educated, effective. Here are the goals for this workshop and what we will cover. What is intervention and referral services? What do we mean by tiered system of supports? What does this look like in my child's school? And what can parents do?
Intervention and Referral Services. In 2001, the New Jersey Administrative Code established I&RS, Intervention and Referral Services. The code states, quote, "District boards of education shall establish and implement in each school building in which general education students are served a coordinated system for planning and delivering intervention and referral services designed to assist students who are experiencing learning, behavior, or health difficulties, and to assist staff who have difficulties in addressing students' learning, behavior, or health needs. District boards of education shall choose the appropriate multidisciplinary team approach, such as response to intervention or a multi-tiered system of support, model for planning and delivering the services required under this subchapter," unquote. The purpose of I&RS is as follows. It is a collaborative effort between district staff and parents to intervene when a student is struggling with academics, behaviors, and mental health. It is meant to ensure data is collected and evaluated to identify specific barriers, and once these barriers have been determined, individualized interventions are identified and implemented through an action plan. The plan is meant for the schools to proactively identify struggling learners, to address challenges before they become significant barriers to learning and the student is discouraged or falls behind, and then to give each student the supports they need to be successful in school. So how do districts implement this plan? An effective way for districts to implement a plan to support students who are struggling is a multi-tiered system of supports, or MTSS. MTSS is a comprehensive framework that is used to provide students with the academic and behavioral supports they need to succeed. It is a proactive, or you could even say preventative, approach to meeting the needs of all students, and it is designed to ensure that they receive the appropriate level of support as soon as possible. MTSS is often shown as an umbrella that includes a wide range of supports for students because even though we often only focus on academic and behavioral, it also includes social, emotional, and health. It is an umbrella framework to encompass whole child data. It is also important to point out that it is a mechanism that drives system-level resources to meet the needs of all students and accelerating learning for all. In New Jersey, we have our own version of the MTSS model called the New Jersey Tiered System of Supports, or NJTSS. NJTSS is a framework of supports and interventions to improve student achievement. This triangle shows us a few specific aspects of NJTSS. The red outline delineates 3 foundational components: strong district and school leadership, a positive school culture and climate, and family and community engagement. The NJTSS framework provides schools with a structure for I&RS to meet the academic, behavioral, health, enrichment, and social-emotional needs of students. It is a system of support for all students. Here is a basic outline of how a three-tiered system works. Tier 1, whole class. All students are taught with methods that research has shown to be effective. All students are screened to see who is and isn't responding to these strategies. Kids may be broken into small groups that address different strengths and areas of need. Tier 2, small group interventions. Some students receive more targeted support in small groups. The scheduling of these interventions is important because the goal is to keep students from missing any core instruction or other Tier 1 activities that might make it harder to catch up. And Tier 3, intensive individualized support. A few students who move up to this most intensive level of support continue with Tier 1 activities. Their breakout groups are smaller than in Tier 2, and these sessions last longer and are more narrowly focused. Next, we'll look at all 9 of the essential components. The tiered system involves the systemic development of 9 essential components in schools for the effective implementation of the NJTSS framework with fidelity and sustainability. The first 3 are considered foundational. Those were the red lines that made up the outside of the triangle. We'll go over them again. Effective district and school leadership, family and community engagement, and positive school culture and climate. Here are the rest 9 essential components. High-quality learning environments, curricula, and instructional practices. This is considered to be part of the Tier 1 level, and it includes all students. Universal screening is also part of the Tier 1 and includes all students. The universal means everyone. Data-based decision-making. The decisions are based on information or data that is obtained through various sources, including a universal screener, as well as formative assessments. Collaborative problem-solving teams. People in the school that work together who have different expertise. For example, an academic interventionist and a school social worker. Progress monitoring. Staying on top of students' progress to see if the intervention is working or not, and keeping track of what progress is being made happens more than once a year. And finally, staff professional development. Teachers need support too. Providing them with professional development so they have a chance to learn, ask questions, and have a community of practice is also essential for the framework to be sustainable.
Now let's look at it through the lens of this flow chart. Problem identification. What is the discrepancy between what is expected and what is occurring? Problem analysis. Why is the problem occurring? Plan development. What is the goal? What is the intervention plan to address this goal? How will progress be monitored? Plan implementation. How will implementation integrity be ensured, such as accountability, timelines, follow-up, and communication? Plan evaluation. Is the intervention plan effective? Identification can be made by a teacher or a parent who would then make the initial referral, after which the school would begin, or in some cases, continue to collect data on the identified learning, behavior, or health concern. The parent or guardian is notified throughout the process and will help problem solve. The ultimate goal is to develop an action plan aimed at identifying and providing the necessary supports to allow the student to be successful. The team, including the parent, will continue to review and assess the effectiveness of each I&RS action plan and modify each action plan to improve student outcomes. Let's talk about the benefits of a multi-tiered system of support, such as the New Jersey Tiered System of Supports, NJTSS. It is a proactive strategy for supporting all students. It improves academic performance because it addresses concerns early. There is greater staff, parent, and student involvement in the educational process. It can provide a greater potential to reduce referrals of students to special education services. It increases positive post-school outcomes and provides both proactive and reactive strategies to prevent chronic absenteeism and intervene when a student is at risk of being chronically absent. Finally, it supports the needs of all students. I&RS and special education, how do they relate to one another? The goal of I&RS is to screen early and to give support quickly. If the I&RS process exhausts all of the available school-based interventions with minimal success, the student may be referred to the child study team. The recommendation for a child study team evaluation can come directly from the I&RS team or from a parent or guardian at any time during the process. Parents don't have to wait for kids to go through all phases of I&RS before requesting an evaluation, though. Again, they can request for an evaluation at any point. A special education evaluation is usually the next step if students don't make enough progress in Tier 3. Students reach this point with lots of documentation. This can be helpful when developing an IEP.
Here is an activity to check your knowledge on I&RS and NJTSS and what you've learned so far. Number 1, I&RS is only appropriate for general education students. Is this true or false? False. It is appropriate for all students, general education and special education students. Number 2, NJTSS has only 8 essential components. Is this true or false? False. It actually has 9. We don't want to forget the professional development for staff, right? Number 3, small group instruction is an example of a Tier 2 support in NJTSS. Is this true or false? True. Tier 2 support includes small group instruction, different than Tier 1 or Tier 3. Number 4, it is up to the individual district whether or not to have I&RS. Is this true or false? False. It is a part of the New Jersey Administrative Code, remember the beginning of the presentation, and it is necessary for every school to have an I&RS established. Number 5, I&RS is included in the New Jersey Administrative Code under Programs to Support Student Development. True or false? This is true. This is where I went over the New Jersey Administrative Code, and it is different than the programs for special education students because it involves all students. So it's under Programs to Support Student Development. And number 6, community and family engagement is optional for NJTSS to be effective. So true or false? False. This is one of the foundational components, and for NJTSS to be effective, community and family engagement is not optional. It is necessary to make it effective and sustainable. So here's another activity that you can do on your own time. We just wanted to find out where people could find things about NJTSS or I&RS in their own school district. So you can take your time to look through your district's website and see where I&RS is there or if it's mentioned, if there's any mention of NJTSS. Also, if and where the data is housed on your district website. Often there will be a link to the school performance reports. See if you can find that and how accessible it is. And finally, are there any community building events promoted? So we talked about that essential component of family and community engagement. So find out to see where they are, or if they're up on your own district's website. And if not, maybe reach out and find out, if there are events, how can they be promoted? What can parents do individually? Well, to start, know who to reach out to in your child's school with any questions or concerns. Also have a clear understanding of grade level benchmarks and what you can do to support learning at home. Attend conferences and meetings and communicate with your teacher what's working and not working at home. Communication is two-way, so you don't need to wait for them to be reaching out to you. You can always reach out to your child's teacher or the school social worker to find out what's happening.
What can parents do collectively? First, request the district provide clear communication and accessibility to the I&RS information on the district's website. Next, request a workshop on I&RS in the district. Also, discuss how money is allocated in the budget each year towards staffing of an effective I&RS system in the district. For districts, inform parents in culturally and linguistically appropriate ways about NJTSS. Ensure that families receive this information at key transition points, elementary to middle school, for example, and that new families receive this information when enrolling their children. Make sure school staff appropriately notify parents when their children require additional support and that parents understand how to ask for additional information. Build partnerships with community organizations to provide supplemental supports to students in need, including through after-school, extended day, and summer programs. Help families access community supports that may assist with other home-based needs that may be interfering with student learning, such as food or housing insecurity or digital learning access. Provide district support for the required Special Education Parent Advisory Group, or CPAG, such as ensuring meeting space, recruitment or informational messages, and staff engagement as appropriate. Raise expectations of staff in helping families engage with their children's learning at home, such as by sending regular communications regarding classwork, sharing data, participating in student planning meetings, and providing workshop and parent trainings. Thank you for joining us today. We are the START project at SPAN Parent Advocacy Network. Here is more information about our work and how to contact us. The resource folder for this presentation can be found in the description notes for this video.